It's time to look at the other festival that I covered in the beginning of 2026 with Turn-Based Thursday Fest. The good news is it's not going to be a 10 to 20 part series, as we only needed 2 nights and 1 video to look at all these amazing turn-based games that you should be checking out. We're starting things off with Wardrum. This is a strategy RPG that is also part rhythm game. You play a tribe that's trying to defend the land from evil, one drum solo at a time. How this one works is that each run you'll begin by choosing different characters that will be part of your team. Each character is a class unto themselves. All attacks, special abilities, and more are done via a rhythm minigame. The better you do the rhythm minigame, the more of an impact you have, or the more damage, or the more that you defend, and so on and so forth. The combat here should be straightforward to anyone who's played a strategy RPG. You'll need to manage enemy buffs and debuffs, and get in and get those attacks off. You can equip artifacts to characters, and each character has a perk tree, and you're free to go up it in different ways that will kind of emphasize different strategies or builds. I do like the kind of like billboard art style that the game has, and despite being horrible at rhythm games, I was at least able to keep to the beat to some extent. And this does not look like a game where if you're completely like rhythmically challenged, you're going to automatically fail, as good tactics will win out. So if you are a strategy RPG fan who can also keep to a beat, I would give this one a play. We leave the battlefield to the cafeteria for Omelet You Cook. This is an engine building roguelike where you are trying to keep your job in a school cafeteria by making the best damn omelets given the ingredients you have. Traditional ingredients like bacon, fish, mozzarella, coconuts, and more. The rules are pretty straightforward. Putting ingredients on your omelet will determine how much value or money that you get. Your goal is to try and meet the score threshold for each round. Certain ingredients work better next to others of a same type, different type, etc, etc. There are items you can get that can enhance the impact of them or change the rules. And each student will also come with their own pickiness that will affect the challenge as well, such as the vegetarian who will not want any of your lovely meat-related ingredients on their omelet. Get to the end, win or lose, and you will of course unlock additional ingredients that will add more challenge to the game. The aesthetics and theme of this one are really well done. It is very similar to that of, again, the engine styles of stuff like Luck Be a Landlord and that particular version, but it is a really charming game to play. So, if you're in a cooking mood and want to see number go up, I would give this one a play. And now we go to Barda. This is a survival, I guess, roguelike. You are trying to climb a mountain, and your only tools are going to be your wits, whatever you stuff in your backpack, and avoiding dying of hunger or insanity along the way. The gameplay here reminds me a little bit of, there's this older series I play that was like all like resource focus. The rules are, you'll choose which path you'll go up the mountain. The paths themselves will have different challenges associated to them, and you want to pick the paths that relate to the items that you found, bought, or got lucky to acquire that are in your backpack. So if you begin with a knife or anything that grants you a bonus for combat challenges, then you want to pick routes that have a lot of fighting to them. If you have like a rope or some kind of tool to get around obstacles, you want to pick those paths. After each kind of event and room, you'll also have to worry about hunger, poisons, and other things that can influence the size of your backpack or what you can fit into it. And there are items you can acquire that can remove hunger, cure items, repair them, etc, etc. Now this is a roguelite, and the meta progression in this one does feel a little bit overtuned, at least from the demo that we played during Turn-Based Thursday Fest. That you really didn't start with, like, anything that can get you a winning run at the beginning. And a lot of the meta progression unlocks like better starting conditions, more tools that can show up, etc, etc. I love the kind of like hand-drawn, almost like storybook art that the game has going for it. And if they can balance the challenge of climbing this mountain, this could be a great story to explore. And now we go to BOT.VINNIK Chess Masters Academy. This is a series of chess lessons and puzzles by the same developer, and this is the latest version of it. The idea is that you're going to learn all about chess Soviet Union style, with a collection of puzzles and challenges that relate to real chess matches and chess puzzles as well. Now the game does feature a beginner tutorial if you've never touched chess before, but this is one of those games that what you see is what you get. You'll only get a variety of puzzles that will show you some interesting moves and lessons that go with advanced chess play and the history of it. And it was fairly entertaining. If you have like any interest in chess or learning it and want to see kind of like more advanced elements or interesting challenges of chess, I would give this one a play. Now, if you rather play checkers, I don't think this will be enough to get you through, but still a very entertaining and a bit educational take on playing chess. And now we go to something that is definitely not going to be chess-like with Diviner. This is a turn-based RPG with kind of like the style and tone of a Souls-like. You are exploring a dark and evil world, and you're having to fight your way through a variety of monsters, traps, and more, one turn at a time. So, as a very important point, the demo that we played, the developer kind of left the project, got burnt out for, and then they came back and are going to be focused on it full time. So, it's hard to tell if what we're going to see here is going to be similar to the full version when the game is released. But what we have is an interesting combination of turn-based mechanics and kind of character building. Your gear that you equip to your character will determine what attacks you have access to. Different gear will have kind of like different slots that you can put gems in. Those gems are going to be your kind of attacks. So you want to kind of match the gems to the right gear, as gear can provide bonuses to specific attack types or debuffs and buffs and so on. And the world itself appears to be linear, at least from the demo. You can of course explore off the beaten path to find bonus items, resources, and more. The turn-based combat did feel a touch on the slow side from the demo. You can break an enemy's poise if you hit it enough times with the right attacks. That will make them lose a turn. And you're at the beginning going to be quite limited since you just don't have enough gear or weapons that you can kind of make use of everything in a single turn. But there's definitely potential here for turn-based like dungeon crawling fans or RPG fans. I am very interested to see if developers will be able to get this across the finish line, and this is definitely one I would suggest you keep an eye out for. And now we go to Fantasy Football Tactics. This is a game where we combine magic powers with playing football. When 4 teams get sucked into a magical world that apparently is entirely built on football, it is up to them to use magic and good football tactics in order to explore. The basic rules is that, much like a Final Fantasy Tactics or any strategy RPG, you can have characters assume different classes or different roles. Each role will have access to different abilities, and you can also use kind of accumulated points in order to permanently unlock a skill so that you can take that between classes. Your goal is of course score a touchdown. You can hit the opposing enemy using tackles and magic powers in order to knock the ball out of their hands or just knock them out. And you must score 2 touchdowns in order to win a match. Now the matches can drag on just a little bit, mainly because enemies are not down for long. You can have the situation where you knock the guy down, you get the ball, you take 1 step forward, You then immediately lose the ball, then have to hit the guy to then get the ball back, and it really will come down to which skills and abilities you're going to get access to. So a very charming take on two very different fields. So if you like your magic, and you like a little bit of tackling to go with it, I would give this one a play. And now we go to Never's End. This is a strategy RPG roguelike, where you must build a party to save the planet, one tile at a time. Our gameplay here is very much in line with that of the Final Fantasy Tactics, that strategy RPG vein. But where the game differentiates itself is with a very healthy combination of environmental interactions and spells. This is not a game where you just cast Fireball or you cast Ice. Instead, you use magic to affect the temperature and environment, and by doing so you can cast additional spells that will change things. So if you want to catch an enemy on fire, you remove or you add fire or temperature to the tiles. You do it enough times, the enemy becomes lighted. You can also use water or lower the temperature to create air drafts to push enemies around. Of course, positioning will matter, as you will need to get backstabs, collect a variety of gear, and level up characters accordingly. Your gear will of course determine what skills you have access to, and many enemies will have varying strengths and weaknesses to the different types. So this one, don't let the kind of like adorable or cutesy graphics fool you here. There is a lot going on under this hood, and it may be a little too involved if you're looking for a very much like a pick up and play strategy RPG, something like Warriors of the Nile or that, but there is definitely something here. So if you like strategy RPG design but you want a lot more going on between your skills, highly recommend you check this one out. And now we go to Folk Emerging. This is a 4X game in a kind of similar style to that of At the Gates, but we're going very early man in this one, as it's your job to raise and cultivate a tribe in the prehistoric era. Like At the Gates, a lot of your early play is just going to be about kind of managing your tribe and the individual leaders that you're going to set up. Each turn, you'll be able to choose different actions, and you'll need to gather food based on the local fauna and flora around you. You'll need to decide when to kind of like hunker down and gather resources, do research, etc., and when to move around the world. You can split your tribe up to gain more ground, but it does leave you in a weaker position. As the game advances, you'll unlock additional tech, and you'll eventually be able to kind of just create your own like tribal city somewhere in the town or in the area. The tutorial is a bit rough at the moment. There is a lot going on under the hood here, and it's kind of tricky to know when you're supposed to stay, when you're supposed to move, and it is incredibly easy to screw up in the early game. If you move around too much, you're not doing enough research, you're not going to unlock better kind of characters and better tools, which means that the other tribes will just be able to bully you around, and you won't be able to attack some of the better sources of food. If you can learn this one, I think this has potential for any 4X fan in the audience. So if you're looking to do some caveman style 4Xing, I would give this one a play. And now we go to BlightStone. This is a strategy RPG with kind of the like moody and aesthetic of Darkest Dungeon, but designed to play very quickly. You are trying to save the world from evil and corruption, and it's up to your band of heroes to explore the land. At the start, you'll choose a different party, with each character kind of belonging into their own class. They'll get access to different skills, as well as class-specific gear. During combat, you'll need to do whatever you can to avoid as much damage from the enemies, and this is a game where things can go south very fast. As you go through it, you'll unlock permanent resources that can be used to unlock upgrades going forward. This will allow you better starting conditions, unlock additional features, and this is one of those games where you are just not going to be able to immediately win. You are just under stat and under gear at the beginning. Now, the game is in early access, and they are going to be adding in more characters and more stuff as time goes on. So if you're a strategy RPG fan looking for a very challenging take, I would at least give this one a try. And now we go to Hero of the Seven Islands. This is a love letter to 90s adventure CRPG play. It is up to you to save these 7 islands from evil with your party of somewhat animated and very drawn out heroes. The gameplay here is that you'll explore these different islands one screen at a time. You'll build your party from different class types. Each class type will come with different access to skills and different starting stats. Now this is important, as this is kind of similar to that of a Kingdom of Loathing, in that there'll be different events that will be better suited towards having access to different skills or meeting certain stat thresholds. By doing so, you'll be able to do different quests, find more in the world, and just kind of keep improving your characters. Now, if your characters aren't able to win or you're having trouble, enemies will respawn after X amount in-game days. And I do like the hand-drawn look of this one. It gives it a very, I guess, like old school look to it. And there definitely seems to be a lot here. Now, with that said, this is not meant to be like a super overly difficult or overly complicated RPG. If you're looking for something with like lots and lots of detail and party dynamics, this is not going to be that game. But this is still a very enjoyable, kind of like entry to mid-level take on a CRPG. So if you're in the mood to do some exploring 90s style, highly recommend you give this one a play. And for the last game of our showcase tonight is Terrascape. This is another in the kind of casual score chasing style of a puzzle game. You are challenged to build cities in a variety of environments. Where the game kind of goes in its own direction is with combining that with deck building mechanics and elements. The game also received a major download or major patch and DLC with getting an Egyptian faction with its own rules that you're not going to be seeing in this video. The rules are: your job is to keep earning points. You earn points by placing down buildings, resources, and more in the world. Now, each building will earn points based on certain factors, depending on what is within its kind of like zone of influence or zone of control. Some buildings prefer to be next to villages, some will prefer rivers, farms, food gatherers, etc., etc. Now, in order to maximize your points, you can construct fusion buildings. That's what you see kind of in the list on the right hand side. By placing the resources down in the exact pattern, they'll all combine into one kind of mega structure that will have its own kind of resources and bonuses for building it. This will allow you to place more down the world and also maximize your point value. Now, your kind of limit is the number of times you can pick from a deck. That is the bottom right kind of like gold card symbol that you see. Run out of cards and it is run over. The game comes with different ways of playing. There is a puzzle mode where you're given a fixed number of cards. There is kind of like the campaign / story mode where your mission is to complete different objectives. That's what you see on the upper left. There is a free play mode and so on and so forth. If you're not a fan of this kind of like more casual take on city building or score chasing, I don't think Terrascape is going to win you over. But there is definitely a lot of charm and interesting elements in this one, even more so with the release of their first expansion. So, if you're looking for a more casual take on city building with a lot of ways of playing, I would definitely recommend you give this one a play. And with that, another showcase comes to an end. We did this one far quicker than our last. What are some of your favorite games, and do you have any upcoming turn-based games I should be checking out? Let me know down in the comments. If you have a game you want me to look at for a future stream and showcase, please get in touch. With that, thank you for tuning in to yet another showcase video here on the channel, and we got plenty more to come in 2026. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.